So I'm here with TRD's Katherine Kallergis. We're going to talk a little bit about her story and her reporting on the buyer pool that came from the cryptocurrency world. And after the collapse of FTX, there's some questions around that buyer pool. So KK, talk about why you wrote this story. The FTX meltdown, obviously massive news in the business world. A lot of people are calling it crypto's Lehman moment. But what does it mean for our world, for the real estate world?
So a lot of developers kind of jumped on the opportunity to take advantage of, the boom in cryptocurrency and the, I guess, crypto millionaires that, were born as a result of it.
Came out of nowhere, right? Just suddenly these
Yeah.
kids had tons of money.
Yeah. And of course that Miami played a role in it. So I'm based in Miami. I've been covering, Bitcoin deals, I guess, like dating back like 5 or 6 years. And I just thought it was interesting. We had the FTX arena. We had a lot of projects here that were, marketing toward crypto buyers. So that was kind of
an interesting stat in one of the projects. I think it was the 11, the PMG Roberts project. What was the buyer, like the breakdown there? That was a pretty massive stat.
That is 11 is a nightclub here. And it was an 11 branded 2-tower condo project. So in the second tower, half of the buyers were crypto buyers, reportedly. That's what they were saying. So that's under construction. What's interesting about that, and one of the reasons I thought it would be important to do a story, is that because it's under construction, these buyers are making payments through FTX that are scheduled. So it's kind of like, what happens now?
Yeah. So what has the developer provided any clarity on what that could look like?
No.
Okay. So it's probably
but I will say that they did clarify that no money was currently being held by FTX. They were strictly using it to convert crypto, for the buyers to convert crypto to cash.
Yeah.
Because
So when developers have been talking about accepting cryptocurrency, it's a bit of a misnomer. What they're basically saying is, we will accept cryptocurrency as your source, but it then needs to be converted into USD, right, to make the transaction happen. But even if let's assume that there's some interesting conversations happening right now between developers and some of these buyers. Some of them have had, probably had their net worth evaporate overnight, just like Sam Bankman-Fried did. The SBF guy, I think he lost 99% of his fortune. But there are, smaller buyers who were suddenly able to buy $5 million homes or $10 million apartments, and they might have gone away. What does this mean for just how big or how important was the buyer pool that came from the crypto community in Miami?
So crypto buyers are not a huge buyer pool in Miami, but I will say that they have been affected. Like those deals, those agents who specialize in those deals have seen deal activity slow down for months. And so after the collapse of FTX, it just kind of like dried up. But another like important thing to note is that, like I spoke to some brokers who were like true OG Bitcoiners, didn't have their money in FTX, So it's like, yes, they were affected, but I think there's a lot of buyers who like didn't see their money get wiped out or lose access to it.
Right. Is this just one of the many illustrations of how kind of South Florida is just a magnet for this kind of money? It doesn't have to be crypto. It's crypto now, but in the past it was shady foreign money from South America. Is this just the next iteration of that? Is there something in the water in Miami that is basically don't ask too many questions, as long as you can pay, you're good?
I think people here love a good marketing tactic, and they love something new where, there's like, they love money. So maybe there's an element of that. Yeah, I think so. But also like, I think that, maybe shady foreign investment is a much bigger, percentage of like wealthier than crypto is.
So what happens next? Now, again, FTX is just one of the exchanges. Right. There's talks about rescue financing. There's talks about, but if the crypto industry takes a major hit in the next coming, is that a big impact on the market? What are you tracking next?
I'm staying in touch with the brokers who kind of all know each other, honestly, that do these deals, to see what they're hearing. I think that it'll come back eventually. But I think that people will be much more careful, because of what happened with FTX. And I also think that developers too, I don't know if they'll be more careful, but they were all very eager to kind of launch these quote unquote partnerships where they really weren't handling any of it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they kind of will accept those deposits moving forward or what they're going to do. But I think in the long term, like it'll come back to a certain extent.
The crypto market overall, you think?
Yeah, I mean, if cryptocurrency like recovers, it's been very volatile to begin with. Like I think that there will still be those deals here. For
Right.
sure.
And is there, have you ever met a crypto buyer? Have you ever talked to any of those? I'm curious what the mindset is, how much of their net worth, they don't mind buying real estate right away. I'm curious if it differs from your standard wealthy buyer.
Yeah, I've only spoken to a couple of crypto buyers directly. A lot of them, from what I've heard, have been investing for so long that they're not, I mean, maybe they're just being defensive, but they're not so worried about like, these like deep like cuts, or I don't know, whatever you would call them. But it depends. I mean, if you have somebody who like, made a lot of money and was over leveraged, then, they may not want to do that again. They may not want to like take that risk again.
Yeah, it seems like people in Miami, buyers, developers, have pretty short memories, and maybe that's a good thing when it comes to the South Florida market. So KK, definitely watching your reporting. Thanks again.
Thank you.